Today I'm talking about a product that I've had for about 5 years, and that's the Masha electric potato masher. Just to be clear, this is not a sponsored video. I bought this with my actual money, so everything I'm saying is based purely on my own experience. Mine is an older model. The version that they're selling on Amazon is a slightly more updated version, but it looks almost exactly the same. So the real question for you today is this worth your money, or is this just another overpriced gadget that's going to gather dust in the cupboard? So what exactly is the masher? Well, really, it's a little bit like a hand blender in the way that it works. It's got a rotating plastic blade, which grabs and pulls and pushes all of the food around, and then extrudes it through these small holes at the sides, which allows you to get a creamier texture with your mashed potatoes. It's marketed as a 3-in-1 tool, so it's mashing, whisking, and also blending. However, let's be real, I've only ever used this for mashed potatoes. It came with another attachment at the bottom. I threw it away because I knew I wasn't going to use that. So this is the only attachment that I've actually got, and it's just for mashing potatoes. It clicks quite nicely into place, so you know when it's secure and you know when it's on there. So what do I like about Masha? Well, firstly, it's super fast, so it's much faster than mashing potatoes by hand. I also like the fact that it's super easy to clean. Simply detach the bottom part, take out the blade, and run it under the tap. Despite the fact that it's bigger than a hand masher, I also like that it's quite compact and it's easy to store, and it just goes upright in the cupboard. And when it works well, it gives really super creamy, delicious mashed potato, which is always welcome. There are some downsides. The first for me is that it's overpriced. I paid about £40 for this, and it's currently about £45 on Amazon. I don't think I'd realistically want to pay more than £20 for this now. I'd really only recommend buying this if you can get it for £20 or £25 maybe. I don't think it's necessarily actually better than a hand masher. I think if you're prepared to put the time and effort in with a hand masher, you'll probably get equal or even possibly better results. But, and I think this is really important, if you have any issues with your wrists at all, and you find using a manual masher to be tiring, then you'll definitely find this to be a useful tool. Another thing that annoys me about it is that pretty much every single time I use it, this attachment just pops off. It's a very, very loose fitting, and when you're mashing it in the bowl, or in the pan in my case, the suction that's created just means that it pulls off. I'd say probably 2 or 3 times every time I'm making a batch of mashed potato, this thing comes off. The good news with that though is that it's very easy to reattach, and usually it comes off in the bowl and I just simply press this back down again and it reattaches itself quite easily. I think that's probably the thing I find the most annoying about it actually, is the fact that that comes off all the time. I think for £45 or £40 as I paid, you really should expect a better build quality. And finally, even though I think this is marketed as a tool for blending and whisking, I personally would only have one use case for it. I wouldn't buy this for whisking or blending because I think there are better options out there. So therefore for me, this is a single use gadget. A great use case for this is if you're using organic potatoes and you're quite happy to have the skin in the mash, then you can just leave the skin on the potatoes when you're boiling them, and this does quite a good job on mashing, and I find that not to be the case with a manual masher. So my final verdict, should you buy the masher? I would say yes if you struggle with the manual masher and you don't mind that extra kitchen gadget in the cupboard, and you don't mind paying £45 for it. If you still fancy trying it out though, I have got an affiliate link in the description below. It costs you nothing extra, but gives me a very small commission, which supports the channel. And if you want to see the masher in action, I've got my foolproof, easy mashed potato recipe linked in the description below too. See you on the next video.